Hi there, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Visual Novel Writing Club. I decided that I should probably put a name to these sorts of videos. So in these sorts of videos, I'm just sort of going to be talking about how I feel to improve writing visual novels, and maybe occasionally I will touch on like coding and certain elements that I feel work well on the mechanical side of visual novels, and other things that sometimes don't work as well but could be easily like just redone to be better in my opinion. And of course, in these sorts of videos, it would be cool to hear you guys' opinions as well in the comments, because I'm just one guy, and just because I happen to be talking to you right now doesn't mean that I'm better than you or anything, and it's interesting hearing what you guys have to say. But anyway, so this time I just want to talk about something that's really, really basic. It's the importance of lulls, like purposeful lulls in your writing. And I know we're in the internet age, and people think lulls might mean something else, but a lull is when there is a space of like something isn't constantly high energy all the time. In real life, we aren't high energy all the time. We take breaks, slow down, rest, wind down energy wise, and then the next day, or after we've finished resting, after that lull, we have another period of energy, that sort of thing. Now, this may seem obvious, and a lot of the stuff that I talk about is obvious, but the thing is, I think people can fall into a trap of not putting any lulls in their game, in their stories, because when you think about it, a lot of the time when people may write professionally, they may be like, oh, I wake up at a specific time, I work between this time and that time, and then that's my work shift, and then I go home, right? So based on that, I think that may be why sometimes even professional visual novels don't have lulls built in. So when you think about, like, if you think about this like Legos or building blocks or whatever, it's like someone finishes waking up, they go to work, they place this specific block at this specific time, then they go home, and then it repeats. And so the energy level of these specific blocks all in a row may be high energy or low energy or whatever, but the point is that it needs to fluctuate. I've played a visual novel, a significant amount of this visual novel called Yuki Koi Melt, which I don't really recommend, for various reasons. I'm not trying to like throw shade, but it doesn't grab me. But one of the issues that I found with it was that I needed to specifically and deliberately tell myself, okay, I'm going to have a reading session and it's only going to last this long. And then I'm going to specifically like be like, okay, now that's enough. I'm going to end the game and go offline, and take a rest. Because the thing is, it's just constantly up high all the time. People are high energy. Maybe this is a bad example for Yuki Koi Melt in general, but I do think that generally speaking, writers sometimes fall into this pitfall. Look, you are writing for human beings, and you've got to know that a lot of the time, human beings like to just sit down with a book or with a visual novel or whatever and read, and if it's just constantly high energy or constantly low energy, then it's overly straining. And it feels much more natural when it's like the characters also feel more human too when you do this. Is it's just like, okay, have moments of high energy, yes, but then like have some moments of downtime. And I was actually watching a playthrough of this really old visual novel that was, I think it was Japanese exclusive for the Super Famicom, so this is like a really ancient one. It was called Metal Slayer Glory, and they deliberately said, like, it was an interesting story, and it had points of high energy, but it was taking place in space, and semi-frequently there would be a time when people are just like, the characters are just like traveling from place to place in outer space, and they need to rest. So sometimes a character will be like, oh well, I just finished resting. If you want, you can go to bed for a while. And this was a way that the game designers designed the game deliberately, because they knew that it's like, okay, this is a great opportunity for a break. So if you decided to take a rest, then the character who was like filling in for you as the pilot would give you like a password, and then that would be like, oh, it's a password system, I can restart like from this point and keep playing. But obviously these days we don't really need password systems so much. We have like a save feature where we can just basically save whenever we want. But this sort of reminds me of like deliberate save points in video games. It's the same kind of thing. Maybe you guys, I don't know how much you guys tend to play video games, but I don't know about you. But when I'm playing a video game, and I don't play many video games either, but when I play a video games, sometimes if a video game just doesn't have a save point, I just won't remember to save. Right? Until it's like, oh, like, I guess it's getting late, I should go to bed, and then I save, right? But if I'm playing a video game with save points there, your players save much more often, because it's like, oh, well, there's a save point. Of course, I don't know when the next one will be, and it's right here in front of me. I might as well use it. And this is sort of, what I'm talking about is sort of like the emotional version of that, where it's like, oh, it's okay to not be high tension all the time. I can come down, and after I come down, maybe I'll save and take a little break for a while and then come back. And I just think that that's important, and that's a trap that sometimes people don't think about falling into, because a lot of the time we write on a schedule. And so I think we can sometimes accidentally keep all the energy up high and forget the human element of like, okay, but if you're a person reading this in like one sitting or whatever, it's kind of inhumane to have it constantly be high strung. So do try to, like, you as the writer, relax a little bit, have some lulls. Everybody needs lulls. Everybody needs points where they can calm down and rest. And write that sort of thing into your story, because the players need it too. And that's all I really have to say this time. I'll see you in the next video, you guys. Please take care.